Tata, mami, musie koseo, kuichao mukeo, kana ninzo, mambe yenzuko kana bado moyondo, na toi vekala kamunda ka kuethia mboi, kuma toi ilobi na ambulondi esema inge, na boka inge, na tia na rika maithi kambi, maathi stima wabika kana bado mutume yao tambi nindi ngukwati ambathi cia tata nambano ayasya ilobi anduni ya ingi na kipathukanyo kuna uthe wa minai kitete okwilowela ona nekia mbesa kinyasani kuwasanduka atate undonzela one nyumba nibunga na ibuleile na ndiuma ndilika na maundu mwambeiye kiangai keli kia hetu kwi muthelo ndukakwatange simundu kila lelo ni laisi kukinwengali tukose sibitali isubie na ndu isubia thengiangia kawasya ngoni yaku aunduka kumya mwana musie kaka kusiocha
Mdomo ameamua kujinasa asiongee, maana ni kuongea ndo inafanya sahihi maisha inamuumiza. Mapua amekubali kuitwa maskini, hataishi tukimaskini. Macho ameamua hataona tena, jumaisha sahihi inamuonea. Masikio hatasikiza, jupia hao msikizi. Akili anamlaumu roho, ati alikosa kutumia moyo wake wa kujikosoa. Moyo naye kidole chake cha lawama anamnyoshea huyu akili, ati alishindwa kutumia akili zake za kuzaliwa. Mambo yakawa yale ya kikale, kujitia kidole puani, kujichimbia kaburi mwenyewe wakati ungali hai. Miguu amekataa kuzikanyaga kubwa, ameamua atazungukia tu kwa hii bed sita. Kichwani mawazo ndio yanampiga mara sita. Uamuzi kufanya, ameishia kusita. Mikono ameamua kunawa kipilato, kwamba damu ya huyu mtu isimpake. Damu ya huyu mtu sio mtu tena, maana hana utu. Si ubongo hubonga kilichobongeshwa. Huyu mtu hivi sasa anezaua hata mtu. Huyu mtu zimepita sasa siku 2, kinywani ajeka asali wala pili. Mara mwisho alijaribu kutafuna, alihisi ni kama anaitafuna ngozi yake, akaishia kutapika sakafuni. Zimepita sasa wiki 2, hajatoka nje ya hii bed sita, na hawa marafiki hawajajaribu kumtafuta, ingawa simu aliilisha sumu baada ya kuitumbukiza kwa maji, ili hata maji yakizidi unga asije akawatafuta hawa. Hivi sasa ameketi sakafuni, upande wake wa kushoto ni yale matapishi ya juzi. Macho yake ameelekeza televisheni, anaangalia tu, hatazami. Maana hata yeye pia siku hizi vichwa vya habari vinamuumisha kichwa. Watu ni kujiua na kuuana. Mkono wake wa kulia ameshikilia kijembe, anaanza kutafuta mishipa. Anatafuta alafu anaanza kukatakata. Damu inatiririka, alafu anakata kamba. Kwa televisheni kipindi kilichoko kinaisha, alafu mziki unachacha. Nijulie leo hali kama ningali hai, ama nangoja mazishi. Nijulie leo hali kama ningali hai, ama nangoja mazishi. Tulikuwa tunangoja mazishi. Sasa tushaform WhatsApp group, tumchangie mazishi yake iwe ya kufana. kufaana ndio undugu, sio kufanana. Kufa kwanza ndo wakujali, ajali ndio haina kinga. Lakini huyu mbona hatukumjulia hali yake ya kutangamana na watu wengine ilivyobadilika? Mbona hatukutaka kujua sababu ya sisi kutomtembelea kwake ni ipi ndio bora, kuhudhuria mazishi yake ama kusikiza shida zake? Leo ni mimi, kesho ni wewe, tutasaidia.
Before century fulani ya jadi, mind ya the humankind ili believe kuwa the world that we see and the world that we don't ni flat. Mwisho wa dunia haikuwa siku, bali mahali. So nikasearch kona zote za hii sayari kutafuta kisichokuwa. Check your horizon. Hapo ndo mahali dunia na anga hukutana. Hapo ndo tofauti ya usiku na mchana. There is a possibility mbingu na nchi zilijua penye jua huzama. Hii ni age ya giza. Sanaa, sayansi na falsafa bado tujadiscover. Mind ni dwelling ya curiosity na wonder. So man anajaribu kucreate chenye hakiko, kudefine concepts na symbols, understand universe and all its people, contemplate a bigger being kumliko, meaning ya life and death, aftermath ya afterlife, loss ina breed pain na sorrow, love ina breed happiness na smile. But man haizi define, instead ni rage na boil inside. Ana feel chenye na feel ni kani stuff divine, but hakuna tools ya kubring to life. So tukaanza kuchora kwa caves, bila brush, bila paint, bila canvas. The earliest human story kwa engraved kwa wall ni picture ya hunter akitrod the bare lands of the savannah. And even though it may survive history, time may erode its value. I can imagine hii ndo ilikuwa the Mona Lisa of the time. Cavemen wali travel far and beyond kuwitness ingenuity ya the first msanii. Hii ndio birth ya usanii long before tuanze kuhesabu centuries. Tutatelhaje hizi hisia? Tutarekodaje historia? Tangi kwa the nearest tool. Use lines and rhymes to tell the happenings of our times. Stories zikakuwa legends, legends zikakuwa myths. Kupreserve library tukairap in melodious songs. Alafu hands zikamit, feet ikastamp, ikaform the first beat. Alafu songs zikakuwa hit. Wazee wakaimbia vijana, vijana wakaimbia watoto, watoto wakakuwa wazee. Alafu wazee wakaimbia vijana, vijana wakaimbia watoto, watoto kwa wazee. Alafu wazee wakaimbia vijana. That's how you make a timeless masterpiece. Achana na Darwin, ukiliza my granny anajua how we came to be. Sisi ni descendants of law, na ukitaka proof atakuimbia traditional masterpiece. Long before leo great minds iligather, characters zika represent sounds, and that's how writing was born. It took a greater skill kushika pen kwa pad. In fact, ungerezi kwa ranks za society if you knew Rumi, Kipling na Shakespeare. Cheki sanaa kwa stage ni kama mrembo kurembeka na edge. Nilisikia hii sanaa ndio kioo cha jamii. So mnapenda mnachoona kwenye jukwaa. Imechukua centuries, but mnapenda mnachoona kwenye jukwaa.
Nimeitafuta ta, nikaifuata ta, ikanifunza ta, ikanipima ta, uzani gizani ta, ndio natangaza, ndio ulimi najikaza. Is he alive? 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 He's barely breathing. 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 He's dying. 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 But his mask is smiling. 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 Vaa mask mpaka dusk. Light isi-reveal una heart. Vaa mask, smile bright, ifiche frown. Wasi notice una beg for coins yet, kichwani uko na crown. Wasi notice we si mighty, that mko na the same chances za kugeuka maiti. Jidinae ndo waku accept. Accept the fact that being you isn't necessary. So, vaa mask, umask pain, insecurities na fears. Ukivaa mask for long enough, zote zita disappear. zote zitadisappear. Is he alive? He's barely breathing. He's dying. But his mask is smiling. Emotions, paka makeup. Better yet, zifunike na paint. Sabu, race ni ya mind, kimbia. Pace ni ya mind, kimbia. Sahau finish line, kimbia. Ujanja ndo shield, kimbia. Nasema fake ndio real, kimbia. Human race may begin, kimbia. Human race may begin, kimbia. Human race may begin, kimbia. Wakikuuliza, we ni nani? Like we ni nani? Smile. Smile. Alafu uulize, mnataka kujua mimi nani? Mnataka kujua mimi nani? Mnataka kujua mimi nani? Nitawaambia atakaa mtaki. Mi ni msanii nimemaliza university. Law degree aka LLB. Drop iki verse wanati. I mean verse iki drop. Wanati, mababi wanati, wenye discipline wanoti, wanati, wenye coins na noti, wanati, wanadai ati msanii, tuonyeshe makaazi, ringa kidogo na mavazi, smile na paparazzi, kamera zina flash tu, but wewe ndo star, cheza game yako, tukucheze, wewe utajiuza, sisi tutanunua, pesa tutakumwagia, mafans 100 kwa 100, jirushe na wildlife tutakushikilia, jirushe na white lies tutakushikilia. Kumbuka lies taste sweeter than the truth. Picture perfect hupatikana kwa moments imperfect, so feature fears yo, feature tears yo, vaa mask yo, no one cares yo, vaa mask yo, everyone cares yo. Feature ukweli, feature uongo, feature shame yo, feature guilt, addiction, depression yo, vaa mask, pretend you're good, vaa mask, usituharibie mood. Na usiulize hiyo company ya nini, don't ask stupid questions, usiulize hiyo company ya nini. We vaa mask, kamba itighten kwa shingo, ikikunyonga usijali, uko safe, mask itakukeep safe. Is he alive? He's barely breathing. He's dying. But his mask is smiling. Nimetafuta ta, nikaifuata ta, ikanifunza ta, ikanipima ta, uzani gizani ta, ndio natangaza, ndio ulimi najikaza, napaswa kupasua njia pasipo na nia, napaswa kupasua njia pasipo na nia. Thank you.
Kuna vile wewe ulistand out na futi zako 7, unene wako hapa sentimita kadhaa na mikono inakaa matawi yana extend. Kila siku kwako ilikuwa weekend. In fact itakuwa ngumu kupretend. Sikuwa jealous afternoon nilikupata ukicheza kwa grau ilikuwa imekukuza tangu confusiwa na mchanga. Na sasa hii imagine ulikuwa unaikuza. Upepo alikuguza, ulimkisa akasema umeka wish, ukamfungia mbegu zako kwa love ziprocreate, kufeed na kufeel dunia. Si kitu nilisikia, ulikuwa wazi na binary, side yako ya chali kisupportiwa na side ya mamari. Starch energy halali kwa gallery ya offspring ushai give dunia, ilikuwa manjano, nyeusi, zambarau na nyeupe, peupe, vile huko bagua tribe ama kala mahindi. Na feel kama fala kukuambia hili. Unaona ule kiangazi mwenye amejificha chini ya jua. Hali inasema atakupora, atakupora green yako. Wewe na wana wako atapandisha joto na kuiba maji kwa miguu yako. Slowly utakufa, na ukikufa wenzako watafuata. Wanyama including man, hata Afrika ndo itaanza. Juu nchi si za kwanza wala pili, ni za tatu. Infrastructure na teknolojia hazina katu. Watahangaika watu. Juu ni sisi tuliunda viwanda vya coal na kuchoma miti juu ya makaa. Tukacha ozoni kae vile inakaa, kuignore sea level za pwani zilipopanda. Turkana na Victoria zikiflood, tulijifanya madandasi jitetei. Niko hapa ku acknowledge blanda na kukuahidi hakuna kiangazi tena atakuja. Hakuna kampuni itajificha kwa siasa kutuvunja. Tunakuja kuhakikisha coal imebaki kwa mchanga. Yajayo tunayaganga, tunakam tukimarch kwa barabara. Wola sisi ni vijiji zimewashwa kwa sola. Michanga fresh ukisorora, jeshi ya mayuto kwa mabicycle. Zaidi ya kureuse tuna recycle, fia aiko tunapunguza safari za ndege, bahari na gari. Na kama gari basi za stima, hima fahima, kukata plastiki, kupanda miti, wasanii malenga, kuchora kuandika, tutaspread hakika, neno litafika. Usiku ukifika, kawa funga macho, hatutakuangusha. Utaona. Thank you. My name is Lexus Mshairi. I am a performing poet, an instrumentalist, a songwriter, and a couple of other things, which is okay. Yes. Just right before me was Kim Chokera, a good friend of mine and a mentor too. So that's Kim Chokera. You can find him on every other social media platform. He also has an EP and imetoka recently. So yeah, if you're in need of that, utamcheki. And just before Kim Chokera was Will Ogutu, or rather Poetic Will. This is the guy. Yes. We talked about the evolution of art from where it came from to where it is right now. And then before that was Oyamo Richard, or Richie Poet. Yes, he talked about a guy in a bedsita and trying just the depression and just trying to explain the moment, yeah? We trust that you have, even if you haven't gotten a lot of things, at least you've walked out with something, yeah? Just before I just step out, I'd like to introduce two very important people to me for my fostering and me becoming what I am today. And these guys have acted as mentors and guys who have come before me and paved the way for us to actually come. And that's none other than Flo Flani and Dofan. So yeah, so. Yes, oh yeah.
Good evening. Is it evening or afternoon? Or somewhere in between? Right? Okay. Yeah, my name is Mutuma Murugo Toirambu. Well, that's as far as I go with the genealogy. I'm still doing my research. Commonly known as Dofan or Dofanage, whichever comes easier to your tongue. So before we get into a conversation, because we're totally supposed to say something, I don't know, we'll see what comes out. I'm gonna do a piece, he's gonna do a piece, and then we're gonna get into that. Okay. News. Ni muse. Ameamua kunitoka. Something to do with deep pieces not translating to my pocket's depth. Patience ni virtue, lakini anasema yake imechoka. Already economy shall drain all my strength. Both economy na absence yake zina threaten my mental health. Alisema, Dov, bado nakupenda, na sitaki kukutenda, but Nimechoka kwa pretender that mimi si big spender just because unaka kakitu kwa bank. Kama kuweka food kwa meza is such a strenuous task, sitakuwa too much to ask me kutaka gari, let alone kujaza gas kwa tank. Nikajaribu kumshow, babe, unajua, akanishow, babe, niko sure intentions zako ni pure, but nataka babies, Mercedes, na kuwa trendy like other ladies. I don't want to break your heart, I'm come out kama sadist, but unfortunately, there's no easier way to say this. I'm so sorry. Na hivyo, ndo dibaji za wenye vipaji na mahitaji zimepata breaking story. News ni Muse alishanitoka. Something to do with deep pieces not translating to my pockets. Depth, patience ni virtue, lakini anasema yake imetoka. Already economy shattering all my strength. Sa both economy na absence yake zina threaten my mental health. Since I share, nimejaribu hook up na wengine. Watu wame fall short. Jani possible ku reverse clock pengine. Hata baada ya kunikula block bado najipata nikimstock wengine. I'm just another washed up star bila yeye. Just another frightened chicken na prayer request kwa mwewe. Kalamu imekuwa mzito, sina thoughts ziko worth kuandikwa. Ni kama kuwa na sufuria na mwiko, but bila unga iko enough kupikwa. World champion, but imekuwa koma tu. Sia kuishia ni kama KO nilipigwa. Ni many moons tangu. And I keep drifting in and out of consciousness. Image yake kwa bongo langu ni hazy. Absence yake inazidi kuni drive crazy. To presence yake always ilikuwa ni amazing. Sahi ameniachia tu memories kwa notebook zangu. Sahi mpaka diary ni blank tangu atoke kwa life yangu. Sahi ni roho inavuja badala ya kalamu yangu. Nikilala namuona kikuja na ota na karamu yangu. Ingawa nikiamka bado news ni Muse alishanitoka. Something to do with deep pieces na deficiency ikifika in my pockets depth. Patience ni virtue, lakini nasema yake imetoka. Already economy shattering all my strength. Support economy na absence yake ni threats to my mental health. So please, ukiona Muse mwambie news ni namsaka.
Hello everyone. I'm Flo Flani, a poet and a rapper and a vocal percussionist. It's an honor to be here. On the surface, you can call them alphabets, but now they're ganged up, they're turning into words. In between the apostrophes and some of these full stops and commas, they're trying to make the sense of it. They mutate and do that. To do that, a rhyme is now a metaphor. A Flo Flani is a lyricist. Pen is mightier than a sword. But I'm not really called God. I'm not the illest. I am hip-hop, but I am not dope. Somebody say, bust a rhyme, do a freestyle. I'm like, well, I'm not a freestyle MC. I'm just an MC who's trying to be free and make that a style. So no, I don't murder MCs. No, I parade them as soldiers because the real battle is out there. Out there where Mr. Kitambi and the rest of the monsters resides. You see, here, we should be on the movement like Thomas Sankara, marching to the beat like left, right, left, right. See, we are already in the darkness. So go back to where that you left the light. Your ego just left? Right. Now sit and write. And not just for sing-alongs, no. Put them syllables in place and join the chorus that will call us to freedom. Operation Liberate Souls. With mics and rhymes, our ammunition. Putting a bullet on Niaje Madhe and resurrect Shikama Mama, Hujambo. His sanaa, my shovel to exhume these forgotten words like Asante. Let my style help sketch a smile on your frown faces, erasing boundaries in your races. Help you discover the king in you, the queen in you. I wasn't born just to be alive, just as I wasn't born just to die. So I live mine like a star. Well, not the one on your TV set, but the one next to the moon that spells serenity. Now the element of Baba Tude, it's how my heart beats like. In between pulsations, I connect with my ancestors. See, I'm going back to the roots, so this tree can bear fruits. I'm about to find Canaan. Thank you.
I think it's for us to say that we're going to expect the Kenyan government to do much in regards to helping artists is we're hitting 16 a few, right? And we're still having the same conversations. Not just, forget about even being an artist, being a human being. We're still complaining about basics, right? It's actually worse. Right? How many street families? We no longer have street kids. We have street families, right? So I think the way to go is this, right? One, bridging the gap. And I feel like this is a proper illustration of that, right? We have all the generations here represented. Okay, probably not all, but we have a substantial quorum of the generations represented here today, right? And the other thing is that we are here as a community of people who have something in common, and that's literature, books, arts, whatever you want to call it. But there's something very particular that has put each and every person in here today. There's a particular passion that, has brought us all together. And I think having those communities, because the essence is not, I understand that the being an artist, like the creative process is a very personal, personal endeavor. But beyond that, because once you've written something, once you've created something, you want it consumed, right? Then we create communities. And by creating communities, what we're doing is we're consolidating voices. These lone voices from the bed sitters and the huts and the caves and, whatever barrow you're coming from. Consolidating these voices to say that, you know what? Kenya has books. There's others you don't know about in this country. There's artists you don't know about in this country. And they are here, right? So by consolidating these voices, we are making ourselves an option. So the government can continue ignoring us, right? But believe you me, when we have enough numbers, when we have numbers that count, when we can stand together as writers, we can say there's a constituency of writers and say, if you don't listen to what we have to say as writers, we're not electing you, Like when we start saying that the arts, the literature is part of the election agenda, what does your manifesto say about the artists? What does your manifesto say about, like the literature and Kenyan books and structures, the infrastructure that we are talking about, right? And that's by this, I yearn for the day that, the Kenyan Readathon is going to be like in every county, every, major town, every school, because then we have a proper constituency. We have a constituency of, 5-10 million people who can actually say, yeah, I want to know what does the president, candidate, presidential candidate has to say about Kenyan literature, and Kenyan artists. What do you have in store for us, right? Because as we speak right now, we're too fragmented to be a constituency. We're not speaking in one voice. Why? Because we're squabbling, We are here trying to see who's dope and who isn't, right? When really, that's besides the point. However dope you are, as long as we're fragmented, when it's all said and done, you're going to die dope. Nobody's going to care about it, right? Nobody's going to know about it other than you and whoever else is in your small cocoon. But we need to consolidate these voices, these forces. Like Fulflani is saying, I see them as soldiers. I line them up as soldiers because that's what we are, right? And I'm not doing this for myself. He's not doing it for him, for himself. We're doing it for us, because we always like saying, we're doing it for the next generation. We can't do it for the next generation if you're not doing it for us, right? It's a lie. It's a huge lie. It's probably the reason why we haven't made much headway, because, people have always been saying the next generation. So, and that's, when you're using that excuse, it means when you're doing something, even if it's on the wrong side of things, you're actually using it as an excuse. So you're going to steal or loot the country and say, I'm doing it for the next generation. But whose generation? Your generation. What about the generation of the other people who are implicated by actions, right? And so, for me, what I can say is that let's keep doing this, right? Whatever small constituency, or, let's say now, whatever small circle we are in right now, we can call that a ward, make sure, like, you represent that, and make sure your ward, like, connects with the other ward and the other ward. Let's form a constituency. And beyond that, we form a movement, that is, that goes beyond Kenya and goes, beyond Africa. For me, when we start talking about, like, Nigerians and South Africans and everybody, at the end of the day, as a writer, as an artist, I like to think those boundaries don't belong. Okay, they're there. We can't overlook that factor, but they're really, as an artist, the fact that Nigerians are being readier more than Kenyans are, it shows you, like, there isn't really boundaries. It's in our heads, right? And we can do something about that. And by making sure we have a movement strong enough, that even those Nigerians know, there's the Kenyan writers, man, like the books that are coming out of that place, the kind of art that is coming out of that place, the music, all right? Because I think part of our misgiving also goes back to policies and regulation, right? Because as long as I can go to the streets there and buy a book at 50 bob, 100 bob, and then I'm coming here, I have to buy a book at 1,000. So it means, like, as long as we're providing people with those alternatives, cheap alternatives, if whatever is coming out of the country is a cheap alternative, then people never see the value of actually buying locally produced goods, film, books, music, whatever, because someone will find it easier to play international music just because if the MCS guy comes, they won't care about, what Kenyan music do you have on the playlist. They're not going to ask about the international music. So it's safer for someone, maybe in their kinyozi or in their movie shop, to play international music than local music, because, if you're playing international music, MCSK, not, right? You see, these loopholes are the ones that are disenfranchising us, However big you think you are, the game is weak. Doesn't matter how strong you are as a player. You're struggling. The reason why even most of our talents will have to go outside for us, to get appreciated is that we don't have a strong game. We don't have strong structures to support that. So before I take this over and become a politician, but what I'm trying to say is that we cannot step away from the politics of things, right? The politics of writing books, the politics of publishing, the politics of being an artist and being an author. You cannot step away from that. You cannot just be an author. At some point, you will find yourself in the politics of things. And if you have been ignoring the politics, it means you have no contribution to make in that regard. Or you have things to say, but you really don't know how to say them, right? So we have to get invested in all aspects of it, And that way, that's how we're eventually going to be in a position where you can just be an artist, you can just be a writer without necessarily having to worry about the marketing, because the infrastructure will allow for marketers to benefit off that, right? And so once the marketers realize there's books to be sold and there is a market to sell it to, they will come, right? They will come because there's money to be made. Right now, because you're selling off your shelf, then the marketer is looking at it and, I probably will be the one doing most of the job because, hey, who am I selling to, right? So I think we have to see it as an entire system of things.
Something I've never understood about myself. I'm shy when I speak, but when I'm performing something else. So if you see me, like, you understand. Now, I never used to like really read books. I never saw it as interesting as much until uko fulani did Kilio cha Haki. I think it was Kilio cha Haki. Because they partnered with the Kwani guys, and since I listen to hip hop, a lot of hip hop, as you can already tell, and I kept on wondering, hizo references zinatoka wapi? So I had to go dig, and I found out it's an entire world, a marvelous world, of literature, and I really enjoyed myself because it's like una travel without leaving your room, and it's amazing. So the question I have, because we might be here talking about how to write books, how to publish them, but from the audience perspective, how do we make sure that the markets there become huge? So one of the main reasons I feel nikaa tunaiavoid ni to make it interesting ama ipate more audience. I wish we could do like the Koflani did na Kwani, because we have other publishing houses. Maybe we can do something similar, because I feel like music ndo would trigger like almost everything. That's why utawa on an advert and you call like zero sound except for the voices. It has to have music. So if we can do that and make it interesting, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. I did a song about Gogo Adiongo Seasons. He's from my neighborhood. It's like my way of giving back to that, introducing people to him, and I did it in the vernacular language, so it was more authentic for them. Naili connect no vizuri sana. So if we can like do the same for Meja Mwangi and the rest, it will be interesting because people will connect with the person, so now they get to the work. You see a good film and you're like, who made this? Then you're like, oh, Martin Scorsese. So you go see, he got some other works. So you have to connect the other first, so you get to the work. And I feel, I don't know who can answer that, or maybe, I don't know, but unique to, I feel it is workable, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dofan and Floflani. I also Floflani does amazing lyrics in Gikoyo. So those people who listen to Gikoyo, you love it so much. There is one song that he has done for Gogowathi Yongo. It's powerful. I think it went global. That's why we recognize him. So thank you so much, everyone, for the patience, and then for all the time that we have been having here. There's nothing much we can't say so much about Lexa and all the dreams that she has. And I think we come here to inspire all those energies that she has and many others in terms of not only Kenyan writers, but also Kenyan poetry, but also Kenyan art and everything else. So thank you so much, everyone. I think she tells us about how the program goes like. But for us here, thank you so much. And
thank you so much, everyone, for attending this. I'm so happy. This is like a dream come true. Personally, let's keep on supporting Kenyan authors. Let's keep on writing. Let's keep on hitting the bush method, as Major said. Yes, so I'll always be here to support you. So Major Mwangi asked me to tell you guys, if you're interested in his ebooks, you could get them through his website, majormwangi.com, and if you're lucky enough, you'd speak to him. but if not ebooks, you could still get his physical copies at any bookstore. There are copies of Kill Me Quick out there, so yeah, you could check them out. And also, I also want to thank my partners, Comrades Bookhouse, for making this day a success, and Cynthia Abdallah Production for also making this day a success. Thank you so much for attending, and thank you so much for the authors who showed up for this day.